This water could have been sold at a high price and the proceeds used for the poor. But when Jmmanuel heard this, he scolded his disciples and said, "Why are you upsetting the woman? She has done me a good deed because she trusts in my teachings. In this way she shows her gratitude, and nothing is too expensive for her. This woman has become wise and lives according to the laws of creation. Therefore she thanks me with the precious water. Her gratitude will be lasting, and from now on her deed shall be known throughout the world. Truly, I say to you, wherever my teachings will be preached in all the world, whether falsified or true, the people will remember what she has done. Just as she will be remembered for a long time, so also a false teaching will be remembered that insults one among you of betraying me. While we are here together, Judah Iscariot, the son of the Pharisee in Jerusalem, is hatching an evil plot against me so he can betray me to the chief priests. At this very moment as we are gathered here, he is asking the chief priests for the blood money they are offering for my capture. 30 pieces of silver are being offered to him if they capture me through his help. While they are forging this plan, they are also designing a plot against one among you, since they want to present a culprit to the people. As Judah Iscariot, the son of the Pharisee, will turn me over to the henchmen, my disciple Judas Iscariot will be considered the traitor, so that the message to the people will be, "Behold, these fools are divided among themselves, so that one betrays the other." How, then, can the teachings of Jmmanuel contain any truth question? But since Judah Iscariot, the son of the Pharisee, and my disciple, Judas Iscariot, have almost identical names, the lie of the chief priests will be accepted from the beginning. The Last Supper. On the first day of the unleavened bread, Jmmanuel spoke to his disciples, "Go forth into the city to a good friend of mine named Aaron and tell him, Jmmanuel says to you, I want to have a last meal with my disciples at your house, for behold, the feast of the Passover is near." And the disciples did as Jmmanuel had ordered them, and they prepared the meal, together with Aaron and his wife, in their house. When they sat down and were eating, he said, "Behold, the time is near when I must take my heavy burden upon myself. To be sure, I am going along my destined path as it is written by the prophets. However, I will only be near death and bear much pain, so you must not fear and not worry about me. Truly, I say to you, from now on I will no longer drink of the fruit of the vineyard nor eat the grain of the bread until the day I drink and eat again with you after my ordeal. So shall it be when I have risen from near death and so have then lain in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights. As they were eating, Jmmanuel took the bread, broke it and gave it to the disciples, saying, "Take it and eat. The body requires nourishment even in times of distress and grief." And he took the cup, gave it to them and said, "Drink from this cup, all of you. The throat becomes thirsty even on a rainy and cold day. Truly, I say to you, a wise person does not hunger and thirst because of things that must happen. But a fool hungers and thirsts on account of stupidity and dissent against things that must happen. And truly, I say to you, just as you do not understand my words now and are angry with me because of them, so will you be angry with me tonight, because your minds still have not been enlightened with cognizance. But after I rise from near death and appear to have risen from the dead out of the tomb, I shall walk in front of you to Galilee, so you may recognize the truthfulness of my words. I have taught you knowledge and truth, but yet you doubt and distrust me. O you who are faint-hearted and of little trust, how startled and confused you will be when I meet you again after my near death." But Peter answered him, saying, "Even if they all were angry with you, I would never be angry." Jmmanuel however replied, "Truly, I say to you, you are one of the worst, because tonight before the rooster crows you will deny me 3 times. But Peter contradicted him, saying, "This will never come to pass, and even if I were forced to die with you, I would never deny you." and thus spoke all of his disciples, and so they failed to trust Jmmanuel's words. Chapter 28. In Gethsemane. Upon leaving the house of Aaron and his wife in Jerusalem, Jmmanuel went with his disciples to a country estate called Gethsemane, which belonged to a man named Joshua, who thought well of Jmmanuel. In the large garden of the estate he spoke to his disciples, "Sit down here while I go over there and ponder my thoughts." He took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee and began to brood and be apprehensive, because he was frightened and alarmed about what would happen to him. And he spoke to them, "Behold, to be sure I am wise and have great knowledge, but I am afraid of events before me, both the known and the unknown. However, this is the nature of humans, even when they are knowing and wise. My mind is deathly grieved. Remain here therefore and watch with me, so I will not feel so alone. It is easier to bear an adversity with 1 or 2 others at one's side than by oneself. If destiny wanted it, this cup would pass me by, yet not my wish but my will be done according to destiny, because this is what has been destined for me." When he spoke thus, Judas Iscariot joined them and said, "Listen to what I have to say. Over there things are taking place in the shadow of the city walls, where I have just noticed veiled lights." But Jmmanuel said, "They may be the henchmen Judas Iscariot is bringing, because he has secretly followed us here in order to betray me." And he went away a short distance, prostrated himself and reflected, saying, "If it is possible, may this cup pass me by, yet not my wish be fulfilled, but rather the law of destiny be fulfilled, so that I shall be enlightened in this secret I must fathom." Returning to his disciples he found them sleeping, and so he said to Peter, "Can you not watch with me for 1 hour, so I am not left alone in my difficult hour? Be awake and great in spirit and in consciousness, so you will not fall prey to temptation. The spirit is willing but the flesh is weak." A second time he went away, prostrated himself and said, "If it is not possible for the cup to pass me by, then I shall drink it, so that I may be enlightened in this secret and capable of fulfilling my mission in faraway lands and throughout all future times." Upon returning, he found the disciples sleeping again, and only Judas Iscariot remained awake with him. And so leaving them once again, he went away and prostrated himself a 3rd time, brooded in bitterness and said, "I am worried and afraid, even though I know that I have to follow my path, which is destined for me. How willing is the spirit and how weak is the flesh when it is so fearful of pain." And his entire body trembled, and fine droplets of blood like sweat flowed all over him because he was so very fearful and terrified. With his face flushed, he returned to his disciples and said to them, "Do you want to sleep and rest now, or do you want to watch with me? Behold, the hour has come when I will be turned over to the hands of the henchmen. So arise and let us go, for behold, the henchmen are coming." The capture. While he was still speaking, behold, there came Judas Iscariot, the son of the Pharisee, and with him a large group of chief priests and elders of the people, armed with swords and poles.